Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with Ben and Eddie.
Hello.
And Kirk.
I'm back.
He's back, baby.
I'm back. I'm going to bring the energy because your intro was shit.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk. Thank you.
Okay. Let me rewind a sec. Like, I felt it was awkward as well. Like, I say, hello, it's Ben and Eddie, and it just feels weird.
There's just no jazziness to it. At least when Pete does it, it's like, hello and welcome to Grumpy... And you're just like...
Pete, the most low energy of all of us, always puts the effort in. I respect
No, he doesn't. He does. It's sometimes it sounds like we're in a library. That's not... Don't say that mine are bad.
They are, though.
You sound like you're, doing one of those, was it Channel 4 podcasts? Like, hello, welcome to Grumpy Gamers.
It's like ASMR or something with you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can see Ben doing that, so...
That is true.
Right. Okay, anyway, Pete's not here. He's moving house. Kirk's back, so you can understand whether... You can gauge whether that's a good thing or bad thing, where we swapped in one for the other. Anyway, Kirk, have you got feedback from last week?
I do, because I listened to your show about me last week, and
was it good? Was it better?
Overall, no, it was not better. It was not better. The show's not the same when one of us is missing. In all fairness, so even today's show with Pete gone,
that's what the listeners want to hear right before listening to
it.
But probably an hour and a half podcast.
Listen, guys, right? No, I take it back. Should we just re-record? Should we start from the beginning? No,
we don't do that anymore.
No, we don't do it. We do one take. We've gone live. We just got to go now. The show was pretty good overall.
Thanks.
You all bounce off each other as per usual. Blah 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 blah. But my notes are. I think you guys give yourself too much credit for when I'm not on the show. And
Brilliant.
To Eddie's point that he made, he's 100% right. I would let all of you know loud and clear if any of you were the problem. So, there you go. I'm glad that Pete isn't here because now I can really rip into him for this. He fucked up.
You can let it go, yeah.
Yeah. He fucked up one of the people's names that he read out.
Of course he did.
So he put he said about these goose. It's not these goose. It's the the goose.
Who fucked up?
Hold on. There's more to my. I've got more to come. I put here in my feedback. Unfortunately, I wanted to rip on you, but it was actually my fault with an autocorrect in last week's docs. So
right. So when you just said that Pete fucked up, that was a complete fabrication.
Yes. So the other thing with Pete, and I'm gonna have to pick him up on this.
You can't say the other thing because the other thing wasn't his fault.
This is the first thing. This is the first thing.
The first thing.
The other thing with Pete is he needs to stop saying he's going to platinum Xbox games. He's not platinum in anything when it's an Xbox game. He just 100%'s it.
True.
So he was talking about Elden Ring, and it pisses me off because he's not got a PlayStation. Also, Ben,
Kirk is such an Xbox fanboy, isn't he? He can't bear that somebody's just using language interchangeably. He cannot bear it.
Two different consoles.
Kirk, did you know what he meant? No. Did you know what he meant?
Yes, but he sounds like an idiot.
Okay, what does it matter?
No, he sounds like an idiot. No, you shouldn't do it.
What does it matter? Come on.
Ben, I can't believe you've never played Max Payne.
Yeah.
That baffles me.
Yeah.
You haven't played so many games.
I know.
Yeah, didn't you say you haven't played Skyrim, Kirk? Didn't you tell me that once? Or am I
there are so many games that I consider almost mandatory to be on this podcast, and you haven't. So count your lucky stars that you're here.
How much are you paying me again?
We'll talk about that later.
If I find out fucking Kurt's getting paid to be on this podcast, I'm going to lose my shit.
Hey, you've had some review codes.
Yeah, that kind of counts, yeah.
Oh, shut up. Another point for you, Ben, okay? Halo Infinite was not delayed for 2 years, it was delayed for 1 year, okay? You need to...
Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
All right, Ben.
Ben, you're such a fucking
idiot. Fucking idiot. But on a slightly less toxic note, You were right. Tormented Souls does look right up my street. It looks exactly like the original Resident Evil, mainly the one from the GameCube remake.
Kirk, spoilers. I've played it in what we've been playing.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers.
No, I'm referring to
Spoilers.
feedback that I'm giving you from last week's show.
Kirk, you've seen the show notes, yeah? Spoilers, yeah?
No, I don't look at any of the notes. I go down as we do the show, so it's all
right.
live.
Little tip for you: look at the show notes.
Maybe in the future, we'll see. Anyway, that's my feedback. That's my feedback.
Yeah. Okay, cheers. No, that's good. Enjoyable. Right. We will follow Pete's usual format of the news, new releases, what we've been playing, which does include Tormented Souls on the Switch. And then our feature this week will be discussing what we think gaming will be like in 2033. Why have I...
I know. I saw you put that, and I thought it was
right.
weird.
No, it's gaming in 2032, so 10 years' time. That's what we're trying to... I mean, I've messed up the numbers on the doc. So
It's easy to make it's easy to make a typo, isn't it, Ben? Ben?
It is.
Well, I'm not being funny, but while doing prep for this, I saw 2023 and I thought, I mean, luckily, obviously, I thought, well, I assume he means 32 because down in the doc he's put 32. But still, that could have been a big problem. Like, what's gaming going to be next year?
Next year. And what I really appreciate, Eddie, is that you didn't change it.
No. I wanted someone else to fuck up.
Okay, that's lovely. Well,
we are
great.
so
But anyway,
humble.
our feature will be discussing what we think gaming will be like in 10 years' time.
Not next year, then.
Not next year.
Not
Fucking
next
hell,
year.
my notes are going to be shit all now.
Right, okay. Kirk, do you want to kick us off with some
Yes,
news?
I will. Right, so Xbox fanboy over here. Halo Infinite Steam player count has fallen below the Halo Master Chief Collection for the first time. So, as per the title, really, the player base has dropped below the Master Chief Collection for the very first time on Steam, which I can only assume is due to the lack of content since Infinite's launch. So the peak player count on the Master Chief Collection was 9,123. Oh, excuse me, I just swallowed my own Survivor and almost fucking killed myself. And compared to the 7,842 players on Infinite. So Brian Gerard, I think that's how you say his surname, Gerard? Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
The community director of 343 posted on the following on Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter, Reddit last week. We understand the community is simply out of patience and, frankly, I think understandably tired of words. We just need some time for the team to get the details sorted, and then we can certainly share as much as we can. So the new Season 2 starts on May the 3rd, which I don't know, well, obviously you guys know, we spoke about this, but there's a couple of new maps, some modes, some limited time events, alongside the new Battle Pass, but campaign co-op has been pushed back yet again, and Forge really is not coming anytime soon. So this is really bad news for this game, because I know we've said this to death. Great game, great base game. They just lacked content, and I don't think even this new season coming in is going to drive me to want to go and see what's new, because there's basically fuck all new being added 6 months later. So, what are your guys' opinions on this?
Well, I suppose, yeah, following on from because we had a chat about this last week when you went on. So, are your feelings that you're not really interested in going back for the couple of new maps?
No. I don't. What's the point? There's nothing different. One's a big team battle map, which as we all know, none of us are interested in. And then the other one is one new map to add into the rotation. Fantastic. And I guarantee you, the majority of the maps that we get will be the fucking existing ones.
Yeah, I feel bad for it because, as we've said, and as you just said, great game. Like, the gameplay is really good, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I really, really like it. So I just want a reason to go back, and I think the Battle Pass will be one reason, but whether I just play casually by myself or whether other people actually want to get involved. But the thing is, the people who are playing the Master Chief Collection, there is a core kind of group that always play that game, and it's held that, and that...
There's so much. There's so much content there. It's
all
5 games.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're right, and maybe... Do you think a lot of people who were playing Infinite have just jumped back to the Master Chief?
I think so. Didn't this, like, something similar happened with Battlefield, didn't it? Like
they went back to 4. Yeah.
Exactly. So they've gone to the tried and tested, and I mean, even if you've played all those maps to death, there's 5 games worth of maps there, and we have 7 or 8 maps in Infinite at the moment. Thereabouts.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but they are. I do like most of them. I think a lot of them are well crafted as well. So
they are.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
I mean, I was listening to another podcast earlier this week. Not this week, sorry, last week. And one thing that they said on there was about like just bring some of the old maps and just rehash them, like, because it would be an easy win and it would keep people happy. Like put things like Lockdown, or like on there, like just some fan favorites just to keep things ticking over.
I don't know, man, because like we chatted about this last week, and I had also listened to a podcast where they said like it's not as easy a win as people think, because to just put an old map in a new game, I know it cuts a lot of the time down in terms of actually developing the map, but balancing issues and all that kind of stuff do need to be addressed. So it is still a lot of work that needs to go in, but you would expect it's less than creating a brand new map. Exactly. But I agree that they should have had more lined up. Yeah,
I just don't know. I don't know what they've been doing behind the scenes, to be honest with you. I know a lot of it was down to kind of like the mental health of the staff and like not making them crunch and all that kind of stuff, which I get to a certain degree, but what's the roadmap look like, and why haven't things actually been achieved in a good time frame?
It is an interesting one in so much as you raised a legitimate point there. They obviously have been working very hard in the background, so I'm not debating their work ethic at all. But
no,
to the layman, to the casual, to myself or whatever, it is that question of, well, what the fuck have you been doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know they have been doing stuff. I assume they have been doing stuff, but what have you been doing? Because there has been no new stuff. Like, what are you doing in your time there? So, exactly. I just hope this game doesn't die before they release new content, because if they wait too long, the game just dies, because people move on. There are so many good games out there. Every week we're playing new games.
Yeah, we are.
It's a bad time to... A live service game has to be fully prepared, and I do think that the likes of PlayStation are going to be bringing out 10, 12 live service games, whatever they call it, in the next few years. They're probably looking at Halo Infinite and going, okay, great learning experience. We know exactly how not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You do not release a live service game without a roadmap and without content that you can drip out. You need to be putting content out there after month 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to be continually shoveling that out there. This is just an example of how not to do it. So anyway, we talked about it last week, so let's move on from that one, I suppose.
I'm going to segue for you. So speaking of controversy, Ben, you have
lovely.
News,
oh, that was special. I
Surely if you alert to the fact that you're segueing, it means it's not a segue.
Well, if you don't,
I'm going to have to.
Surely.
I'm going to have to think of how I segue into the next one. So, okay, we'll try and continue that. But thank you for that segue. Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild 2, has had controversy this last week. Let's call it controversy. It's a very tenuously called controversy. But there was an announcement, obviously, that said a few weeks ago, that said that Breath of the Wild 2 was being pushed to spring 2023 because previously they said they were aiming for 2022. So nobody actually expected it in 2022, because when Nintendo used the word aiming, you assumed that wasn't going to happen. However, they had a little mini kind of 1-minute direct or whatever, and it said they're pushing it, and they showed some footage from Breath of the Wild 2, just a bit of gameplay, maybe a bit of cutscene stuff or whatever. And actually, I really, really liked the look of this. I thought it looked lovely for that 20 seconds or so. But Digital Foundry have spoken about it, and they looked at this 20-second clip, and they believe that it could be an indication of this running on future Switch hardware. So either Switch Pro or a next-gen Switch, probably more like a Switch Pro kind of thing. So they are literally just theorizing. So they were looking at the textures, and they were looking at the cloud volumes. Mm-hmm. I think the volumes of clouds, and essentially their assumption, or their viewpoint was that they didn't think that this could run on the normal Switch and would need something extra. Now, bearing in mind that because Digital Foundry have said this, people were putting quite a lot of weight into this. Digital Foundry usually use software and proper testing to understand the performance of games and comparisons to different consoles and stuff like that. This time, they were literally looking at a fucking video that we were all looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm not criticizing them at all. I'm just saying that the internet jumps all over this and thinks it's a controversy and says, new Switch, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. New model of Switch is going to come out then. It's all... My take on this is that it don't count on it. Like, it will be 6 years. It'll be 6 years from the release of the Switch that this game will come out. And it's possible there may be a revision of the Switch. It's possible we may get a 4K version and stuff like that. But if that's just something that we bang on and on about, it's been maybe 3 or 4 weeks since the last time we mentioned this. But the fact that Digital Foundry have said this doesn't mean anything, because Digital Foundry are just literally looking at a video that we're all looking at.
Agreed.
It's not like they've been given any special ability to look at this. So,
and it's also not uncommon for trailers of any kind to be kind of what's the word? Jazzed
embellished.
up a bit. Yeah, you know,
run
like
on
just,
PC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, how many times have we had E3 trailers that they've been running on the highest spec computers that aren't even running on the base consoles that they've been released on? So,
well, do you remember the old Spider-Man on PS4? The original trailer, like there were reflections in the puddles. And they had to get rid of them. And then everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" So yes, this happens. Now people are saying that, "Oh, Nintendo don't usually do that. Nintendo just put out an image of how something looks," and yeah, they do. But they also release their videos in 4K. And guess what? The Switch is not 4K. So it's they're just like any other marketing company.
You know why, don't you? It's because the Switch 2 is coming out. It's going to have 4K support. There you go. Who solved it, mate?
Who knows? Yeah, well, I think we'd all welcome a new iteration just to bump up a little bit, and maybe it could run on old hardware. I mean, the last Zelda game was that hybrid between the Wii U and the Switch, wasn't it? It was released on both consoles, and that could happen across a Switch 1.5 or something like that. But yes, that could happen, but let's not count on it. Let's not get too excited at this point in time. But people have been talking about it, so we're talking about it. We're part of the problem.
Yeah, I can't believe there's definitely going to be a new Switch.
Anyway, talking about a problem.
That was very good. I thought no, that's not good. I thought you were going to go down the next gen route.
Oh, that would have been better.
Should have done that. That would have been much better.
Right, okay, let's move on. Witcher 3 next-gen upgrade delayed indefinitely.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah, it would have been better, Ben. Sorry, but
just let go.
You would have thought the amount of fucking segues you would have got one right now and again. But anyway, this comes from Eurogame. I saw this on their website. Witcher 3's most recent delay came last October when CD Projekt Red explained that based on recommendations supplied by teams supervising development, it was now aiming to launch in Q2 2022. However, that target has been shifted again, with the developer blaming its latest delay on its decision to complete the remaining work on the game in-house. Previously, the project was being developed by Saber Interactive, which had previously handled the acclaimed Witcher 3 Switch port. CD Projekt Red said, "We have decided to have our in-house development team conduct the remaining work on the next-gen version of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We are currently evaluating the scope of work to be done and thus have to postpone Q2 release until further notice." Ben, is it you that said you think it's...
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I think I heard that they were trying to bring this in-house to avoid any development pressures that we've been put on people that are, through the Ukraine kind of Russia conflict at the moment.
Makes sense.
I think they're just taking it in-house, and so that they can control and to not have to rely and put pressure on other people that may be dealing with other things. I think that might be the reason, and therefore it's perfectly reasonable.
Absolutely.
And this is what it is, but it's a little disappointing, I suppose, just from an outside point of view, if you were waiting for it.
I'll tell you what, I'm waiting for it because I've never completed it, even though I think it's one of... It's not the game's fault. I think it's amazing. You know what the fault is? Is bloody Gwent. the in-game game.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I've chucked so many hours into Witcher 3, and half of it is because whenever I see someone playing Gwent, I go, ooh, I can play Gwent for the next 4 hours. But I was really looking forward to it with the next gen, and I was going to play it on my new Xbox, and I was going to be really excited for that, but and maybe even complete it. But yeah, I mean, if there's a good reason, then that's it.
Yeah, well, I would no doubt play the first 15 hours yet again.
Yes, for the fifth console in a row. Right.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd have to do it again and get to the same point again and give up again.
Ben, that's why I'm not playing the Cyberpunk trial. Because obviously I've already done the first few hours, so what's the point in doing the trial? Because I'm just going to do the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because once you get past that, you want to play the full game anyway. But there are 3 different starting options, I suppose, in Cyberpunk. But,
I know, but it's kind of all the same.
But you have to play that trial when you know you can actually play the game.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah. But, Kirk, I know you haven't played The Witcher 3, is that right?
No, I have not. I was considering. I was considering it because I've been watching the show lately, and the lore and just everything about it. It does seem quite fascinating. I don't really know why I haven't bothered to jump on it beforehand, but it's also a time sink, isn't it?
It is, and I know you're not.
I'm not a big time sink guy.
No, you're not. You're not a fan of huge games, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that always put me off The Witcher, really, like, because I didn't get into it, and I know it's really long.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're not feeling it after the first 15 hours or so, then
like you,
oh god, this is now a war of attrition.
I do have to ask you a question. Why have you played like 700 different versions of it and always just got to the 15th hour?
Because everybody says it's amazing, and objectively it must be. But I just find it a bit dated, I'm not gonna lie. And I know this is the next gen upgrade, but it won't fix the things that I think are dated in it. I think the combat is pretty dated.
Yeah,
I don't know, and also I don't really like, and I think Eddie might have said this before. Somebody said this before, and I'm right on with this. I am less inclined to like RPGs where you are a set character.
Yeah.
You like to modify, don't you? You like to kind of make it your own.
I love that. Yeah, your own player and your own kind of story. You've created your own thing.
I've said this. The thing about the Witcher games, and my God, have I got criticised in the past for it? Is it really does follow Geralt, and it's one of those where I've typed in. I think it was Witcher 2. I typed in like, why can't you buy a house? And honestly, the amount of abuse I got sent was unreal. You know, like, that's not what The Witcher's about. He travels from place to place. That's the whole character. And you're a fat prick. And I don't know how they always know I'm overweight, but they always find out.
That's harsh.
It's very targeted abuse.
It's a harsh world out there.
Well, yeah, it really is. There's a lot of very accurate toxicity out there. But yeah, that's what they all say. They kind of say, well, that's not the game it is, and that's fair enough, I guess. But you could argue that the developers came out with that DLC where you could actually own a vineyard. So fuck you, all toxic people.
Well, yeah, the 2 DLCs are supposed to be. I mean, we've talked about this before. They're about 20 hours a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, that's class. That's quality.
I love that one of them actually brought for all the gamers that love The Witcher, but also like, you know, having a house and building that up, and they brought that to the Blood and Wine, I think it's called, and they brought that to all the games. I love that. Well done. They listened to the gamers that wouldn't consider themselves diehard Witcher fans, but diehard RPG fans, or maybe hardcore gamers, and they answered that. I love that. Well done, Super Project.
Yeah. Well, this is. I mean, it's come back from Saber Interactive. Wasn't it this next gen version? And Saber Interactive, I think you mentioned they were the people that handled the Switch port, which was nothing short of a fucking marvel. Like, the fact that Witcher 3 runs natively on the Switch, and then it got a patch to make it look better because it was rather Vaseline at the start. I mean, it's still pre-Vaseline, but
Vaseline?
It's amazing.
I know. What's that mean?
What? Do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
where they
put Vaseline over the screen.
Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's got something to do with anti-aliasing. Yeah, I don't know if it's got something to do with anti-aliasing or something, but it's coated in Vaseline.
Okay, right.
Yeah, just look at the screenshots. She'll know exactly what I mean. Or just type on Google Vaseline Switch games. I'm sure that'll come up with something.
Not sure I want that in my Google history, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Okay. Well, anyway, Eddie, are you going to segue us to Kirk?
I don't know. I don't even know what the next one is.
Oh my God, man! So you have a go at both of us, and you don't even do a better job.
No, because I hate segues. Let's not do segues. You know what? Here's my segue. Kirk, have you got another news story?
I do actually, yeah. So Kojima insists Kojima Productions is staying independent despite posting a PlayStation Studios banner on his Twitter. So Kojima has had many online in a frenzy because he posted a PlayStation Studios banner that included an image of Sam Bridges from Death Stranding, your favourite game in the world, Ben.
Love that game.
Love that game. Leading many to believe that this was a confirmation of Kojima Productions now living under the PlayStation Studios umbrella. So this same banner was used on the PlayStation Studios website. However, it has since been taken down. Kojima has apologised for any confusion caused, as he tweeted on Friday the 15th of April saying, "I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but Kojima Productions, gotta shout it because he put it in all caps, has been and will continue to be an independent
You actually
studio."
did, yeah?
Did you think that, Ben? I thought that was...
Yeah,
that was quite
he
offensive.
put an accent. Put an accent on that.
Okay, you listen back to that tomorrow, and I'm telling you, I think you went a bit Japanesey there.
I don't think I did. I didn't. I was just shouting.
Okay.
Well, I apologise for any offence caused if that tends to be the case.
I don't think.
Yeah. Let's just. Should we keep it moving?
I think you're okay, Kirk.
Should we keep it moving?
Yeah.
Right. So, so is this backtracking? Or is it a premature announcement? So Kojima has always been one of the kind of weird ones in the industry for self-hype, and at the best of times he doesn't really care about keeping his cards so close to his chest. However, he also does like to fuck with people, and this wouldn't be a surprise if that's what he was doing, just to stir the pot, basically, would he? So the other thing to consider with this is Death Stranding is a PlayStation exclusive, bar being on the PC. So it is also very likely that the reason it was included in the banner was because of this reason. And on a personal note, I don't think Kojima needs or wants to be purchased, and would rather stay independent after what happened with Konami. But I guess we'll have to see on that. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's probably a non-starter. I mean, what you said, Kojima likes to fuck with people. Yeah, he just likes to just put things out there. Like, always, the thing that Kojima's done is stayed relevant. Throughout this, the fact that he made Death Stranding, which I love that game, but the fact that he made Death Stranding, it's a tough sell. Death Stranding is a tough sell of a game to people. So you can guarantee that if he was bought by somebody else, Death Stranding would have been an even tougher sell. So I don't know. Like I'm one for thinking that you hope that wouldn't happen, because I loved the innovative nature of kind of like his way of thinking and his relevance and this type of stuff. And I wouldn't want him to be tied down to a console.
No, I think he needs to be independent, and his team, because it just gives more creative freedom, doesn't it? And as adored as the Metal Gear Solid franchise is, it's one of those things where if you've got someone above you that is telling you what to do and how to call the shots, it's that creative control that you're letting go, and that's something that he just doesn't want to do. So even though he's got a really close relationship with PlayStation, I don't think it will happen. So, well,
maybe he's promoting something that will happen soon. Maybe it's another game or something like that they're working on, and
they're Stranding too.
Yeah, and it keeps him relevant. That's the thing. It keeps the studio relevant, and
the thing is, his name has so much clout in the industry. If you say Kojima, everyone knows who you're talking about. I mean, I don't disagree with you, by the way. Like, I do think that he probably is. He's just doing it to stay relevant. But even so, like, you know who Kojima is. If you say that name, he's one of the very few names in the industry that if like one of the big companies got to work with him, you've like struck like gold, basically. Like,
yeah, but who knows? Maybe he was watching a film with a mate or his wife or whoever, and it was boring, and he just went, "Ha, just post this."
Let's fuck with Twitter. Do you know? No, the thing is, Eddie, you laugh,
he's just a
but
human.
you can guarantee.
He's just a human.
Yeah, he would be there going, let's fuck with them, let's do it. So
Yeah. The amount of shit that people just put on Twitter and put out into the void.
Yeah,
I know,
I've seen
right?
I've seen Kirk's Twitter.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't you post something the other day just saying that you were hungover?
I did, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Just said send help. I was dying. Anyway, so speaking of PlayStation news, Ben, you've got something for the final story, haven't you?
Oh, you're good at this, Kurt. You're good. Yes, the Oddworld developer was speaking to Xbox Expansion Pass. That's some kind of publication website, perhaps, and said that Oddworld that they released on PlayStation last year, beginning of last year, they were expecting to sell before that 50 to 100,000 units. But then it got put onto PS Plus on day one, which they were paid a one-off fee for, and then it was downloaded 4 million times. And he said, because it's a one-off flat fee that they get paid on PlayStation Plus, he said, for us, it was devastating. Because obviously they were paid, the fee that they would have been paid, they obviously thought that was a good deal to bank on instead of trying to go after that 50 to 100k units. Then he sees 4 million downloads and he's like, fuck! And then it got released on Xbox last November, so they made some money there. It was also released on PC, they would have made some money there. And then this contrasts as well with another story this week where the devs of Scarlet Nexus said that they gained 1 million extra players through putting it on Game Pass. So it took them from 1 million players, 1 million units sold, I think, to 2 million players. So I think perhaps this might... I don't know if this is an official publication or if it's just fans of Xbox, but it's definitely slanted towards the, Sony do bad deals and Xbox do good deals, but it's not quite like that. I think this developer, a lot of people are talking about this story, but this developer has obviously said it was devastating because it probably is devastating to go, oh shit, it was downloaded 4 million times. They know they wouldn't have got 4 million sales.
Yeah.
I downloaded that game. I downloaded it. It was on PS Plus. I haven't played it. So I would never have bought it. So they and I'm sure they get that, but it's just a headline, isn't it? It's just a headline for people to talk about, and especially interesting when Xbox Expansion Pass talk about this.
Well, it's a case of staying relevant, I guess, isn't it? It's like you said in the previous story.
I think that's exactly. When I read this, it's like some headline like that's going to be used. That's probably great for him because you're going to have people through the Xbox Expansion Pass, this publication, they're going to have people reading that going, oh yeah, there was that new Oddworld game. I never tried that. And 4 million people have played it. It must be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's staying relevant, appropriate marketing. It's all important. And because this is a bit of a segue, but I was watching a video of Switch sale games this week, and there was a game on sale there for a couple of £1 or something, and it was a really obscure indie game. And I was thinking, wow, from putting that thing on sale, how much are they actually going to get paid? How many people are actually going to buy this very, very obscure game? Devs really have to work hard to recoup their money, don't they? 50 to 100,000 units that they were expecting for Oddworld is not a lot, is it?
Nope.
No. Although, to your point with the £2 sale there, I don't know what game you're referring to, but obviously if it's some obscure indie game, if it was just, Tunic, for example, was made by only a couple of people, and and if it's just your time, just a couple of people's time, and not a huge studio or something with all these salaries that you've got to pay, etc., then is it really that? Is how relevant is it?
In my mind, I was thinking this is a really obscure game. Who's going to download it? It might be amazing, but who's going to download this? And I thought, well, maybe you might get 500 people download it. Okay, well then that's £1,000, and then Nintendo are going to take a cut of that, so you're going to get 700 quid.
Assuming it's a 700.
Do you know what I mean?
Split,
It just seems really tough to make money on this stuff. And Oddworld is I mean, I would have a few years ago. You say that's a really big franchise, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I used to love it on think back to PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
exactly. Think back to that time. Oddworld was a big deal,
Yeah.
and now they're making a brand new game, which I do think scored reasonably well. Like 7 out of 10 kind of game, and you're expecting 50 to 100,000 units. It's a hard fucking marketplace out there, isn't there, to get your game sold? It's fucking hard to get a sale.
But I think, as you said, does make PlayStation look bad in this instance, and Xbox the old golden child, doesn't it? But
well, that's the way it's slanted, but it's certainly not the case. PlayStation offered a fair deal for what they were expecting, and they took that deal, and then loads of people downloaded it. It's the same thing with. I'm sure you get that with Game Pass all the time.
Business, isn't it? It's business.
Yeah, exactly. Lock in the fee. You're happy. Move on to the next game. So, yeah, nobody's the villain in this piece. It's just a story people are talking about.
Unless PlayStation saw the projections and thought we could pull a fast on it.
Yeah, but we're not.
Yeah, Jim Ryan in the room just going, no, guys, undercut it because they're going to sell 4 million guaranteed.
Right. Remember, Kirk is very much an Xbox fanboy. Let's move on. And
Daddy Spencer would never have done that. Okay?
No, he wouldn't. No, not Daddy Spencer. Never. Right.
Never talk ill of Daddy Spencer. All right.
Okay. Praise be to Daddy Spencer. Right. New releases, Eddie.
All right, cool. Ember Knights coming out on PC April 20th. Ember Knights is an action roguelite for wonderful players where you play as a legendary knight, the last spark of hope against the mad sorcerer Praxis and his hordes of unwavering fiends. Wield weapons and skills. Can you wield a skill? Build synergies. You
can wield one.
Well, you definitely can't wield one, no. With game-changing relics and free the universe of Praxis's corruption. This is like a 90s kind of cartoon style, just run around and hit stuff. It looks like pretty simple mechanics. It just looks like a little cartoony game from the 90s. What do you guys think?
I am not mad at the art style. The thing about these roguelikes, they really need to be played, or you see reviews on them to know whether they're any good.
Yeah,
it looks like it has the potential to be a good roguelike, wonderful player. Like it looks exactly what it is on tin. It's a little cartoony style one, but it seems to definitely be one that would have potential. But you just don't know until you've either played it or see reviews.
The thing for me with things like games like this is that I'm now comparing anything that's a roguelike to Hades. And that was my first roguelike, and I loved it to bits. So anything else is going to have to really come hard, and that's a weird way to put it, sorry.
Wow.
That's a really weird way to put it.
So, right, okay, well...
you get what I mean. Like, the game has to really bring it.
Rather than the Hades, because Hades... Hades was amazing, and it's that art style as well. I loved that. This has more of like a Binding of Isaac kind of roguelike art style.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. But yeah, Ember Knights. I think this could be a game.
Can I just say that I think Hades with its art style kind of appeal to everyone, while games like this, I think this doesn't appeal to me. Like as a grown ass adult. I would not play this. While Hades, I did not feel like a child playing.
Fair enough.
Like I would with this.
Fair enough.
Yes. Okay. Well, a bit harsh, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next one, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed is coming out on Switch on April 20th. It came out in 2018. For those of you who don't know, I never played it personally. I'll be honest. The graphics look awful. But the motion controls look really cool. You can use your sticks with the Switch and do certain things. It looks like they've kind of incorporated it quite well. Ben, what do you think?
I fucking loved this game when it came out. Kirk, did you play it?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, man.
I was never a fan of Star Wars, so I would never jump onto a game with the title on.
Okay, yeah. Like I this game, I thought this game was truly revolutionary when it came out because it used the Force like you'd never been able to, like pick objects up, throw them, like smash people up, kill people with it, pick people up, whatever you wanted, you could get all the different forces and stuff. It was amazing. It was so good. It was a day one purchase for me, and the Force Unleashed 2 was a day one purchase for me. Just back in the day, and they had a demo for this. I remember there was a demo on Xbox. Fucking great. And it's nice that it's on the Switch. I forgot that it was coming out because I would have tried to get us a copy. Well, of
course you would.
Me, because it's on Switch.
Of course you would.
But I imagine the graphics haven't held up well, but I haven't seen screenshots of this latest one.
It doesn't look like they've even done anything. Like they've just poured, straight port and just added motion controls. It
is done by the same. Somebody may want to clarify and look this up, but it is done by the same people who did the port of the Knights of the Old Republic, isn't it? And the people who are making the remake of Knights of the Old Republic. Big comment. Nobody's checking that one.
No one's checking that.
I'm having a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Okay, keep it fine. Next one.
We'll come back to that. Next one. Anuchard? I'm going to call it Anuchard. PC, Xboxes, Switch, coming out April 21st. Anuchard has fallen. Generations after the fall, its surviving descendants have chosen you as a bell wielder. Stop highlighting it. Bell wielder of the magical Aldra spell. Go forth, battle monsters, solve puzzles, and restore or not Anuchard to its former glory. A paradise in the skies. This is just another silly little cartoon game to me. The animations of it running is very childish. It looks pretty simple. Please, guys, maybe give this a bit of compliment, maybe?
I can't. It looks exactly the same as the first game you talked about.
Oh. No, it doesn't. This doesn't look as good as the first one.
Yeah, you are right there, sir.
The first one, Ember Knights, looked better than this. The reason I was highlighting it was because I had to Google it again because it's very forgettable, isn't it?
All right, we haven't got a lot of praise for this game, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Right, next one. Oh, Kirk, have you looked at the Star Wars thing?
I have, and I can't find anything, so I'm giving up.
Brilliant.
All right, I'll do it.
I feel like Ben's lied there then.
I need to clarify my own.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't actually hate on you, Kirk. I just need to clarify my own thing. Right.
Next one, Godlike Burger, coming out on PC April 21st. In Godlike Burger, you run the craziest restaurant of the galaxy. Stun, poison, and kill customers in many devious ways, and turn them into burger meat. And don't worry, alien customers will keep coming if you are smart about it, because cannibalism is just too damn tasty. Obviously, I'm a RimWorld fan, so anything with cannibalism in it, even in real life, is fantastic. This is like a restaurant manager, right? The kind of game that I could definitely see my mum playing. But this is where like you secretly go off and kill people and then use them as ingredients.
It's such a weird concept for
a
game.
I'm all in, Kirk. Before you even try and criticise this,
no. I'm not criticising it.
Parents, if you're listening, download this shit.
Do you know what? I love the art direction on it as well, and it kind of I get it's because cell shaded, isn't it? So it kind of reminds me a lot of Jet Set Radio, like the kind of art style from it, at least. But yeah, the concept is just weird, man. Like, and this is clearly going to get banned in Australia, right?
Oh yeah, get ready for this to be banned very quickly after RimWorld. Yeah.
I've got an update on The Force Unleashed. Yes, it's done by Aspire, the same people who did Republic Commando and Knights of the Republic, and they're making the new remake of Knights of the Republic.
Okay.
And then on Godlike Burger that we're talking about, I think it looks fucking amazing. I love this game. I wish it was on Switch.
I can imagine it'd be a brilliant Switch game.
Oh, yeah, fucking... I think it looks great.
I'm glad you said that. Brilliant. I'm actually going to add it to my wish list right now. Next one.
I'll add it for the Steam Deck. Lovely.
Okay, thanks for that, Ben. Lamote, the Master Moat Chronicles, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, and Switch, April 21st. Launching April 21st, 2022. Meet Lamote, the squishiest bioluminescent creature in the beautiful 3D puzzle platformer. Take control of the world's inhabitants on a quest into the great depths to seize control from the Master Moat. This came out on Feb 2020, but it was in early access, so I guess this is the full release. I swear we've even talked about this before.
We have.
Yeah, I'm very glad you said that.
We have, yeah.
It was about 4 weeks ago. Pete said that he hated the look of it.
About that.
Too colourful.
Yeah.
And you've put cool visuals there, so that's funny.
Yeah, no. I put psychedelic platformer. I remember it being a bit too much.
Yeah.
I think we rated it before, but when I looked at it this time, I thought, it's not for me, but it looks all right if you like 3D puzzle platformers.
I mean, Pete and I both enjoy 3D puzzle platformers, but I can't see me playing this personally. I don't know. I think it's just the fact that you're the character, like the what you're taking control of. I don't want to be this bioluminescent creature.
Oh, you don't have to be.
I know, so I won't play it.
Okay, don't they?
Okay, moving on to Trolley Problem Incorporated. Well, Inc. Let's put Inc. Coming out on PC April 21st. The Trolley Problem game has over... What, Ben, what have you done with this fucking blurb, mate?
It's a copy and paste. What I don't like is that they call it the Trolley Problem game in the blurb, but the game is actually called Trolley Problem, so they've capitalised the G in game. That's not its name. They're all over the place with this blurb.
Fire whoever's in marketing.
Okay, well, anyway, it has over 500 different interpretations of the trolley problem for the player to solve.
What's the trolley problem?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even explain it in the blurb, does it? This game is literally you just click and you choose one or the other.
Is it the modern day prisoner dilemma? Is that what the trolley?
Is that the one where you have an option and you press it and you like go down a tunnel or something?
No,
because all right. Well, this is that.
We studied that in. Don't worry about it. We studied it in school. It's fine. Move on. Cool.
This is literally where you just choose an option and then it goes on to the next option, and then you choose an option and then it goes on to the next one. I cannot sell that any more than I've already sold it. You know what? I'm even going to say this is actually quite poorly done. Like when you choose an option, it just goes on to the next one. It doesn't have like a sequence or.
So there's no consequence or anything like that?
Oh, well, I assume there is consequence, Kirk. I don't know, because obviously I lost interest about 5 minutes after researching this. But I assume there will be, and I assume your actions will kind of lead to something. But honestly, like to create a game this simple, with no like kind of reward for playing it, I cannot see how they've even created this.
I'm not going to lie, all right, and I'm not even kidding here. I genuinely just thought of trolleys that you'd find at Tesco or Asda and it'd just be in some sort of management for that.
That would be a better game, Kirk. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks tragic.
Should we leave it at that?
Ben's only the guy that kind of goes like, no, I bet on Switch this will be really good. But, no, all right, I'm glad we're all on board. Right, next one, Velone?
Yeah.
Velone. Yeah. Coming out on PC, April 21st. Velone is a creative automation game in which you assemble and program mechanisms to solve logic puzzles. Both relaxing and highly replayable, you save the planet Valone by creating automated constructs that move and assemble according to your master plan. I don't know why, I got kind of Factorio game, I guess because it's kind of the same, you kind of like put your dots down which do different things, and it's all about getting the circles to certain areas. It's very much just a kind of a simple puzzle game. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's quite well done, and I'm not going to rip on it because it like, I mean, Factorio in a way is kind of very similar to this.
Factorio is amazing.
Factorio is an incredible game. And I think Factorio did a brilliant job at still getting the immersion juice flowing, because you're still your person while you're creating these great things.
Immersion juice.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get immersion. I don't think you're going to get any immersion juice.
No, I bet you're bone dry here, Ben.
Yeah. You want to be dripping, but you just never going to be with this.
No.
You ring this one out, you get nothing.
Get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dust, if anything.
Yeah, poof.
Not even immersion dust. Just normal, regular dust.
No.
What is happening?
Right, next one. Metal Tales Overkill. Coming out on PC, PlayStation's Xbox, Switch, April 22nd. Metal Tales Overkill is an action-adventure game where metal and adrenaline clash to give you the ultimate 3D roguelike guitar shooter. Fight against the looming curse affecting your metal brothers and free them from an ancient evil.
Thought you were doing a guitar solo then.
He was. He didn't mean to, but he did it.
I didn't mean to, but it was pretty cool. Rock roguelike, I've put. I guess some people will want this because they like their, rock music and their, and they like this kind of game.
I'm assuming this is going for the Guitar Hero fans, because there's no Guitar Hero games anymore.
Well, I think like this again goes into that category of roguelikes where it could be really good, it could not be, you have to play it. But what is good is that if they get the music right in this, and they will appeal to a certain audience, and they are trying to do something a little bit different, so they're giving themselves the best chance, aren't they? And they're releasing on every console and including PC. That really does give you a good chance, especially when you got Switch involved.
Yes, definite Switch game here. You're totally right, because it's one of those, like the shit one we saw earlier, like that, I can't see what that would appeal to, but this game, you wouldn't feel like a child playing it. You'd go like, this looks quite cool, like, the graphics.
I feel like an overgrown child playing it.
Well, that's fine, because aren't we all overgrown childs?
What?
Childs?
Children?
Multiple children?
And that's grammar school education, everybody.
That's grammar school education. Thank you very much. Next one. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to redeem myself and I haven't. Winketji?
To be fair, that does look like that is a bit of a mouthful.
I'm going to say Winkelt. And it's the J and E is silent. That's what I'm going to call it. There you go. Winkelt. The Little Shop, coming out on PC, PlayStation.
Do you want to spell
Xbox
it for people? Do you want to spell it for people? Because
Winkeltje. Winkelst.
Yeah, I think that works.
There you go. Coming out on April 22nd. So the name is all about building, decorating, and running your own old world fantasy shop. Buy low, sell high. From nails and apples to swords and alchemic love potions. Impress your customers, craft items, and be the master of your very own shop. This did come out on February 2019. I don't know if it's been out in early access this whole time. But
okay.
I am all in with this game. I've added it to my wish list. I am looking forward to it coming out on full release. I might even buy it on the next sale. I love these kind of games where you run a shop and you kind of build it up, which you can do in this game. The problem is there are so many games like like this out there. It's kind of difficult to find out, but this looks like it's well done. To build your different things, it looks quite easy, and it looks fun and enjoyable. And the graphics aren't too childish, but they're also not like trying to be too impressive upon themselves. So I'm all in. What do you guys think?
I think it looks really good. Eddie, have you... Oh, you might look it up if you haven't heard of it. A game called Moonlighter.
Moonlighter?
Yeah, pop that one in. That one could be right up your street. You're a shop owner, but you go into dungeons and stuff to get your stuff to sell in your shop.
I think I've seen this. Where have I seen this? When did
it's always on
out?
Sale and stuff. Probably 2019, something like that. But it's always on sale. You should be able to get it on Steam. It's on Switch sale all the time. So I think it's called Moonlighter. It might be right up your street.
I think the reason why I didn't get this one, Ben, and it's the same with. Do you remember that one where you owned a graveyard?
Yes, I've got that game, Graveyard Keeper.
All right.
Graveyard Keeper.
I think the reason why is because the graphics are just a bit too. I know I played RimWorld, so I have no leg to stand on.
Yeah,
but I need the immersion juice to at least be like dripping.
Yeah, well, RimWorld actually, because of its crispness, it is dripping in immersion juice.
I'm very glad you said that. And yes, it does. You kind of can imagine yourself, and it's the same with this one. Like I think. It's not trying to force itself to be graphically world class, but at least it's going. You can imagine yourself doing this. You can imagine yourself running the shop, and you can actually change your character, so you can make him look like you. So
covered in juice.
What the character is?
The game.
I'm all in. Kirk, what do you think? We haven't heard from you a while.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking dripping in juices right now, so
That's
I don't.
gross, Kirk. Why did you say
I'm the one that takes it too far, right? Okay.
You're the one that said you were going to come hard earlier. That was fucking weird.
I said it was wrong. I corrected myself.
We're talking about immersion juice.
Yeah.
Kirk, what are you talking about?
I don't know. This just I don't have any interest in this game, but it does kind of look I get the vibes of like The Sims almost. I think it's just
see what you mean.
The direction of the way that the house, like the roof is off and that kind of thing. And
you know what? I'm glad you said that, Kirk, because I would love to rip on you, but I loved The Sims. I think it was The Sims 4. They had a DLC where you could run your own business. And don't get me wrong, it was very limited. You could either run like a restaurant, a bar, or like a general store. And I loved the running of the general store, and I thought it's a shame it's The Sims because I don't really care for The Sims, and I do want a game dedicated solely on that. And yeah, these kind of games they're all trying to hit that mark. Unfortunately, I've played so many of them and they've all failed so miserably, and I'm just hoping this one kind of hits that mark. So yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong there, Kurt.
Okay, well, keep your eyes out, I guess, and come back to us with a full-on review in 7 to 8 years' time.
Yeah, when it comes down on a 60% sale, exactly.
Yeah, maybe 80.
Oh, bloody hell, don't be so naughty like that. Next one, the big one, Dune Spice Wars. So big, so big, I couldn't even get Spice Girls, I wish. Dune Spice Wars, coming out on PC, April 26th. A real-time strategy game with 4X elements from the developers of the critically acclaimed Northgard. Set in Frank Herbert's groundbreaking Dune universe, you must lead your faction and battle for control and dominance over the harsh desert planet of Arrakis. This looks really, really good. The gameplay looks really good. This reminds me of... I wish Pete was here for this. Stellaris kind of meets Dune. I think it's a really good time to bring it out because obviously the success from the movie, whenever that came out, like 9 months ago or whatever, I fucking love the movie. I love 4X games. I'm really, really looking forward to this. What do you guys think?
I think it looks excellent. We said that when the trailer was originally shown, didn't we?
Yeah. Didn't we watch it in one of the events or something? Is that right?
We did. Yeah. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember, Kurt? What was that event that we...
No, sorry, I can't.
I have applied for a code for it, so let's see if it comes through. And if it does, then either you or Pete can pick it up.
You know what? I'll give it to Pete because I know Pete loves Dune, and obviously this looks like Stellaris, doesn't it? Really?
He is the 4X guy, and if we get it, I'd love to get it. And we'll see if we do. But I'd love for Pete to play it, and I don't know what price it's coming out at, but it's always a bit hesitant because it is I believe it's coming out in early access. Right. So you maybe don't want to be picking up day one unless we get given a code for it, which would be lovely for us to talk about and let people know how good it is. So if you're listening, developers, please give us the code.
If they're listening.
Oh, dear. No, I really, really like the look of this. But yeah, I think it's going to be a £30 at least.
Yeah, do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I looked on Steam earlier and it didn't have a price, and I know they don't usually put prices up until last minute, do they?
I mean, Northgard right now is 24 quid.
What?
Yeah.
What? Northgard on Switch at the moment is on sale for anyone, FYI.
Yeah, Northgard came out in 2018. It is $23.79 at the moment.
Yeah, if you want to get it right now, Northgard, Switch is your place to get it.
Well, with Switch tax, is it still like 25 quid?
No, it's literally on sale this week.
Okay.
So yeah, check it out.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. I'm looking forward to that one. One I'm not looking forward to: The Serpent Rogue, coming out on PC, PlayStation, Xboxes, and Switch, April 26th. The Serpent Rogue is a botanical action-adventure game set in a medieval fantasy world. Master the art of alchemy, explore forgotten lands, tame wild beasts, and protect the realm from impending disaster. You will craft, brew, boil, and consort potions all in your stead to defeat an ominous danger. Shut up. Third-person adventure game, dark and dreary. I really have no interest for this. I don't like dark and dreary games if they're if they're like quite bad. Do you guys at least think this is going to be okay?
I think it could be. Are you talking about the art style looking like it's bad?
No, more the fact that it's just. I mean, the art style looks bad. That's okay. Obviously, I've said that's unforgivable. That's forgivable in some games, but it's just the dark and dreary nature of it. Don't you like? I want.
It does. It does. Yeah, it does look dark and dreary. It's got a great name though.
I just want to be happy. That's a weird thing to say. As in when I play games.
I believe there's a demo on Steam.
There is. That's right. You can download the demo right now.
So yeah, I really like the name the Serpent Rogue. Fantastic.
It's got a great. It's a great name.
I don't think this looks that bad. I quite like the look of it, and it's coming out on all consoles at the same time. I don't even think it's coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox by the looks of our little tags here. PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch.
You're saying this is a full next gen only game?
I can't imagine that because it's coming out on Switch as well. So maybe we just got it wrong.
So let's dial it back.
So no information has actually been passed. Sorry, listeners. But yeah, the Serpent Rogue. You can get a demo on Steam. So check it out.
Lovely. Next one, MLB The Show is coming out on Switch, April 27th. I have nothing to say to that. Ben, is this something that entices you? Because surely baseball could be a fun little in your hands game.
You know what? I was tempted when it came to Game Pass, but I did that with another American sport or something like that fairly
Madden
recently, and I just thought it's just too much. Like when you're not in on the sport, when you're not watching it, it's like when you don't know about it, like to pick it up in game format is quite difficult, I think. So it doesn't entice me. I've heard the Switch version. What I think about the Switch version for this, they did have 21 on the Switch as well, I think, but or did they? I don't know. That's another bit of information I'm not sure about. But the graphics do look ropey. But if you're a fan of this game, do you really care? You just want it on Switch?
Yeah, exactly.
But it is on Game Pass, isn't it? MLB The Show 22 is on Game Pass, as far as I'm aware.
It is.
Absolutely.
So if you love it there, or you want to check it out there, and then drop it on the Switch version, then that would make sense. But yeah, to a non-baseball fan, I think it's a tough sell, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does really well though in America. This absolutely kills it, doesn't it?
Well, because they've got 4 sports, and that's one of them. So
yeah,
baseball is huge over there. While in England, jeez.
Yeah, it's non-existent, is it?
What's baseball?
I actually played baseball as a kid, but you know.
Well, we played rounders, didn't we? Or did
I actually played baseball. Yeah, down in
Isn't rounders like?
Isn't rounders cricket? Pete would love that.
Isn't rounders just like the deformed version of baseball?
You're insulting a lot of people right now, Ben.
That is. It's no wonder the podcast is not growing anymore, Ben. You're alienating everyone.
Actually is growing, so maybe I just need to continue
insulting all the audience.
No, come on. You can't alienate people who play rounders. There's about 12 people, and they're all in
I feel like you're more insulting baseball than
we were some of them, because we played it when we went to London last year.
I wasn't. I know, it's tragic. And I wasn't insulting baseball at all. I was insulting rounders, actually, probably. Okay. I don't know.
You don't know
if you like baseball,
I hate that.
I wasn't even insulting anything. I was just merely making a
We're getting
fact.
off topic. We're a gaming podcast. We're talking about fucking rounders. All right,
anyway,
come on.
Ben apologises to our American audience.
I apologise. I don't know why. I haven't said anything wrong.
Apologise and move on.
I apologise.
Right.
That's my official statement.
Good. Next one. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Coming out on PlayStation 5. And Ben has put in all capitals, which I'm not going to shout. Comes out of early access on Steam on April 27th. This is the cool PvP Battle Royale game where you're vampires with powers. Ben, I thought you were going to be all in on this. Did you not get it?
Well, I love watching it on Twitch, so in that respect, I am all in on it. However, this is a PvP Battle Royale, and I will not be great at it, and I will not enjoy playing it. So I think it looks really cool, and I watch it a lot on Twitch.
You love a vampire, don't you?
I do. Even though this strays from the vampire stuff a little bit, because you got guns, you got katanas, you got all this kind of stuff, but you do like kind of get buffs from killing people and all this with the vampire, like sucking the blood type thing.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it, but it's not for me because I just won't be very good at it. It's quite reaction orientated, like a lot of quick moves and powers and stuff. Pretty cool to watch.
Cool. Yeah. That is it from the new releases. It's a pretty packed week. A lot of shit, but there's a couple good ones in there. So I'm labelling this a slightly above average week.
Yeah, well, it's got Dune in there, hasn't it? So...
It's got Dune and it's got Winkezji.
Yes, and it's got Godlike Burger.
Yeah, the burger one. Yeah, don't forget that.
That's on only PC.
Yeah,
mental. I wish that was more. I wish that was Switch. Anyway, okay, well, we'll move on to what we've been playing.
Lovely.
Right, so I'm going to start because we got spoiled earlier, didn't we, by Kirk saying about Tormented Souls and what that was all about. But
spoilers.
This is just a quick one. We did get a code for this, so I thought I must at least play it and give it a try on the Switch. And it's worthy of so much more time than I actually gave it. It seems really, really quite good. It's, for those who don't know, Tormented Souls is a horror game, and as Kirk said, it's basically like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2 kind of clones, but the original versions, not the remake of 2 and 3, etc. But it's like that fixed camera, it's really scary, that uneasy kind of tension building stuff, and all the general kind of Resident Evil puzzles, like putting items together, moving them across the screen to like see if they fit somewhere and they activate something, and that type of stuff. This game was released on other platforms last year, so it came out on Switch last week. It was in or this week just gone, it was in our new releases section. But it's just incredibly similar to those Resident Evil games. Inventory management, it's all the same. It looks basically identical. And the thing that is, I think, on one hand fantastic and great, and on the other hand exactly what I don't like, is they've reintroduced the saving system where you have to find the roles to like record, like in Resident Evil,
like the ribbons.
So there's limited. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a limited number of saves, and at the start of the game, like you find like 1 or 2, and it's limited, and the ammo is just so scarce, like more than any Resident Evil game that I've kind of been aware of. But it's scary. Like if you like old school Resident Evil, and that did it for you. This game, Tormented Souls, it's on the Switch. It's new. I think it's pretty well received. I think it was like a 8 out of 10 type game. For me, it's scary.
Is it too scary?
On the Switch? Yes. Even on the Switch. I hate limited save games. Like Resident Evil 2 Remake. There wasn't limited saves. And I love that but I do save about 1,000 times. I go back to that typewriter like every fucking 5 seconds. As soon as I do something, I go back and save.
Yeah, you run outside, get like a herb or something, and then go straight back in, save, so you don't have to go and collect it again if you die.
Exactly. And I'm all about that life. But this isn't that life. This is a constant on edge.
What are the enemies like?
Freaky.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like it's
So
all.
they're not zombies, are they? They're like, I'm guessing.
No,
kind of
no,
like
it's
really
like
ghoulish and stuff.
Yes, it's like in an old kind of hospital asylum type place. Like the story is so like wafer thin as to why you even go there. Like it's just like, okay, well, guess we're gonna go to this fucking scary haunted place at night, which is and then immediately you get your eye like gouged out and you're left in the bath kind of naked and shit like that. It's like, oh, okay, this
What, your character?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It's absolutely fucking savage.
What else did you think? What, him in real life?
Well, no. Ed, please.
It
Continue,
is, but you know, it's you think I would, if any game that I might like in a genre, like you are a female protagonist, that's cool. But oh god, I think Kirk, I'd love you to play this game because this, for me, seems to be like what. This is what you're harking back to. This is the stuff you really liked, and it's a genuine scare, and it's got all the, like, I want to say everything they're trying to do is on purpose. Like it is a love note to Resident Evil, like the fixed camera and everything like that. But it's not like awkward in that regard. It's actually doing it on purpose.
Question I have, because I haven't seen much in the way of gameplay, but when you're playing it, like, so obviously with the fixed cameras, when you go to the next kind of, when you get to the edge of the frame and it goes to the next section, which is obviously pre-rendered background, is it fluent in that respect? Like, there's no...
I remember saying to myself, I think if you hold down the same direction, it continues going in that direction.
Of course, so the controls don't change.
Yeah, like they do change when you do your next input, but if you held the input down, it would do the same thing. Like, so that in that regard, it's well done. I to be honest, like, I finished playing it after the first night, and I turned to my girlfriend and I said, I don't think I'm going to play much more of this. I know I'm not going to finish this game. Like, I don't know how much time to invest in this because I'm just not going to finish it. Like, it doesn't matter how good the game is because it's already scaring me. So yeah, it's not for me. But I can really see, now that it's on Switch and it's now on all platforms, I can really see this being a Game Pass edition sometime soon.
I'd love it to come to Game Pass.
I think
I said when I saw it the first time, I was like, that looks really fucking cool. And as you said, like, it's right on my street. It's just, a shame I couldn't get a code for it or have a Switch or anything like that. But you know.
Yes, I mean, you would have been the guy that we gave it to. But yeah, it's just come out on Switch, so that's where we get to play it. But I recommend it to people if that sounds like something you're into. Old school Resident Evils, Tormented Souls. Definitely worth a look. So anyway, Eddie, what have you been up to? I know you've been away.
Yeah. I haven't been playing much. Before I went away, I've been away for 4 or 5 days, isn't it? So I was playing Escape from Tarkov, which, because of the stupid insurance system that I mentioned, where if you don't collect the thing within like 3 to 5 days, then you lose it. It is a pain in the ass because obviously I'm going away for 5 days, so I'm not going to lie, I might have logged in on like day 3 of my holiday with my girlfriend to see if I could quickly get my stuff back, which she didn't know. I think she was in the bathroom at the time, so that's fine. You know what's weird though, I went and visited, I did the typical good boyfriend thing and went around these national trusts, and I was reading all this history stuff, and this is weird, I really now want to play Bannerlord. Because I've been reading about all these knights and all the kings and all the history, and it's made me go like, I really want to play Bannerlord again. So, nice. I mean, I'm away again as of 2 days for another 5 days. But I reckon Bannerlord is on the horizon, and I've got my new computer, so this could be a goodie.
Oh yes, yeah, it runs on that. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, Uber graphics and everything.
But if you start playing that, you're not playing any new games.
No, that's going to be another longy. Oh yes.
Yeah, you can be right back in there.
Until I get the burger one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was that called again?
I don't know. I've already forgotten
Godlike Burger.
Godlike
Burger.
Yes, Godlike Burger.
It's on the wish
Good
list.
stuff. I hope that's cheap. Right. Okay. Good stuff. Kirk, have you played a new game, haven't you?
I have. I mean, I've played what's it called? Shit.
Brilliant.
God. Oh, I'm actually. Why am I drawing a blank on this? Someone help me. Sorry, it's
Random.
What?
Yeah, that's the one. Lost in Random.
We're on your section, guy.
Yeah, I know. No, I've got the notes up on something else, and don't worry, I wasn't on the dock when I was looking. Anyway, so I've been playing. I played Lost at Random last night. I thought I'd try something. It's just recently come out on Game Pass. I think it came out last week. And I thought I'd give it a go because I watched the trailer. I thought, okay, it's a bit quirky, kind of game. So basically, what it is you play as a character called Even, and you have a sister named Odd. Funny names there. And your sister is taken by the Queen on her 12th birthday, as all children who reach this age have to roll the black dice, which the Queen has, and it determines what kind of person you are. So Odd lands a 1, but the dice moves on its own afterwards to a 6, which means that she then goes to the Queen's palace and won't be seen by her sister or her parents ever again. This game...
That's
yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Yeah, so...
It's bleak.
It's very bleak. Basically, you're in this this kind of city called Onecroft. Houses are made out of teapots. It's a very gothic, grungy, inspired-looking game. Like, kind of.
Is it quite Alice in Wonderland?
I was going to say that, Ben. Yeah, this seems like
It's like Alice in Wonderland meets Tim Burton. Is what I would say.
Wow. So Alice in Wonderland meets Alice in Wonderland, right?
Well, you know the Alice in Wonderland game on Xbox was actually like Alice in Wonderland meets Tim Burton.
Was it?
It was, so that's already been done.
Okay. Well, I'm just
kidding. Sorry,
it's Alice in Wonderland meets Alice in Wonderland.
Exactly.
Is this an Alice in Wonderland Inception moment?
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
It's all very random.
You figured it
I'm
out.
lost in it.
So basically, you're in this place called Onecroft, and it's the way that the narrator describes it is, who's got a really cool voice. The way he voices over is really cool. It is like one of those magical kind of fairy tale style. Like he's really he puts a lot of like like he puts proper jazz into the way that he says what he says. But he describes Onecroft as
Va-va-voom.
Va-va-voom. That's a good. Yeah, yes.
Were you going to say Shashwari Nan? Because I do really like that.
So,
is that another accent?
One. Shut up! Not again. I'm gonna get cancelled. So you're in this place called Onecroft, and it's essentially a place where you're down. The people, the inhabitants of this place, they're all like unlucky. Basically, they're all like, not. I don't want to say the scum of the world, but they've never see anything good. Like you said, bleak. The mechanics of the game, you use a slingshot to break things to earn this in-game currency, which is like. Everything's like dice related, which obviously makes sense because of the game. You have a map and a journal which you can refer to, which help you to kind of find your main and side quests, which are marked up on it. I do like the way that the game has been kind of, I don't know, just presented, and the style of it is great, but I don't feel like it is I don't think it's been executed very well. It's an indie project. The developer evades me, but it's been published by EA, and it's one of their like indie games, like Fee and titles like that. One thing that really got me, that I was like, why have they done this? It's an odd choice wherein when you're speaking to someone, there's dialogue, and the character that you're speaking to speaks verbally. And then you get some multiple choice answers to go in response. Now, your character even does talk, but when you pick an answer, it just completely goes straight to the other character again, who responds to what you picked. So your character doesn't say anything. You just pick the multiple choice answer, which I thought was really bizarre, because then there are plenty of other points in the game where you talk. So it kind of took me out a bit. Do you know?
Yeah, I get it.
It's bit of an odd design choice, I thought. And like I said, the controls are very clunky. I don't like it at all. I mean, you hold LB to run, and I mean, the controls are simple, but it's really weighted. Like, and the character it's not very nimble, and the way you move around, etc., is not ideal. And this is one of the things that really frustrated me. You're walking along these kind of like elevated platforms, which go over water, and you have to run at one point around multiple corners of these platforms. And you know when there's like the edge of a platform and there's like the invisible wall, yeah. When you get to like the corner of something, like I would expect to be able to kind of like cut the corner quite tight, but you can't. Can't do that. You get caught on the invisible wall. So multiple times that kind of thing happened to me, and it doesn't seem very fluid in the way that I kind of see games these days.
Yeah.
As I said, go on.
I was going to say, do you understand where the hook could be for people to get like in on this game?
The story, I think, would be quite compelling. To be fair. I think there's obviously a lot of mystery around what is being kind of told at the beginning, and it is that kind of fairy tale sort of vibe that you get from it, and it's, I think, because of the art style, the way that it's delivered. If you're into that kind of scenes, it's quite dark in that sense. There's a lot of bright colours. There's lots of like hues of like pink and blue and all that kind of stuff. But
the original Alice in Wonderland was very popular, like really popular, and I mean, feel like they'd probably jumped on that bandwagon.
Maybe so, and I think if you like that kind of thing, then maybe this would be something for you to jump into. It's just I just wanted to give it a go because it was new, and the trailer did bring enough in for me to go, I'll give it a go. I'll download it. It's on Game Pass. Why not? But I just, after 30 minutes, I was like, I really don't want to play this. It's just not something that I want to invest any time into. So,
it's the beauty of Game Pass.
Yeah, well, no, you can kind of tell.
You've been talking about it for 15.
Yeah, I did think that.
But we're on a podcast, mate. I need to talk about it.
It is the beauty of Game Pass, though, isn't it? That you get to. The other thing of Game Pass is that because you haven't spent any money on it, you don't feel like you need to push through that kind of barrier. Like you said, you didn't play much of it.
No, I didn't.
Whereas if you paid money for it, you may have.
I'd be disappointed. And then it's one of those, like, I pay. If you pay for something, and Eddie, you more than anyone know, because you don't like wasting your money on something like that. So if I paid for it, and I've like spent 20 quid, 30 quid or something, and I've put 30 minutes into it, and I go, I'm not doing this. It's just like, oh, great, what a waste of time. So Game Pass, beauty, yes, lovely. And I've been playing, I played a bit more Crash in between like work and stuff. It gets fucking hard. It gets really hard. I'm not gonna lie.
All the crashes are hard.
Oh,
though,
mate,
aren't they?
I think I'm on the last kind of biome kind of zone now. You've befriended Cortex by this point. Spoilers. And
he's your mate. Okay.
Yeah. He's you've got a common goal by the end of the game, or near the end of the game, and yeah, just the biome I'm in is really difficult. Timing is essential, and just there's so many things that piss you off. But I've collected all of the masks. There are 4 masks that you do. You know, I said that they give different abilities and stuff. The last mask, it's very trippy. It changes the gravity so that you then go to the ceiling, and the way that they've designed the levels is it's clever and innovative and unique, but it really fucks with you when you've got to do it so quickly and on the fly that you've got to press the right trigger to drop down or jump up essentially to the roof, to the ceiling or the floor, to make sure you escape certain obstacles and stuff. And the amount of times I died, I think the first level with it, I think I died like 40 times, and that sounds
these are games that make me furious, like absolutely furious. I can't do it. I'm the type of guy that gets absolutely livid at this, says fuck it, I'm not doing it, and then just continues until I finally do it, then go shit game.
Exactly. So,
I'm that guy.
It's one of those games that I have done, like, now that I'm at this, like, the latter end stages of the game, I'm playing like a couple of levels at a time, like, and then turn it off because I'm getting so annoyed. So, but I want to push through because I paid for it, so I want to make sure I get my money's worth and complete it before I pull it back.
Nice.
Good stuff.
But yeah, that's it. That's me.
Okay. Good. The last one then on our list is the one that I've been playing on Game Pass again. Came to Game Pass last week. Life is Strange: True Colors.
That game.
So I am a fan of the Life is Strange series. I've played the previous ones. This one's come to Game Pass, so great. I had actually considered getting it on Switch because I hear it plays really well on there, and I definitely wanted to play it in handheld. So I've been playing it on the One X player actually on xCloud, like on the cloud gaming service. So and they are doing marvelous things to that app and like making it so that the cloud gaming is very accessible. So commend them for that. But yeah, it's perfect to play on the cloud because it's a slow-paced walking sim type narrative game. So if you don't know Life is Strange, yeah, it's very dialogue heavy, make your right choices, and that impacts your story and that type of stuff. So it's perfect to play on the cloud. Story is basically you play a girl who's moving to a small kind of idyllic mining town called Haven Springs, where she's like meeting up with her brother that she hasn't seen in years. And at the same time, in a very Life is Strange kind of pattern, you are coping with this power that you have. And in previous games, like you've been able to rewind time and stuff like that. In this game, your power is that you can tap into people's emotions.
What?
And you can feel deeply what they're feeling.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just let that set in for a second.
It's not setting in. You can probably hear from my shock.
Yeah, so yeah, as I said, previously you could like rewind time and they did some really cool things with that stuff. And I'm not saying that they're not doing that with this, but it kind of feels, especially when you start the game, that you're just a really empathetic person. So you're and I know this has been done to death on this game, but now I'm seeing it firsthand. Your superpower is empathy. And
to be fair to Pete, that's probably a superpower.
Yeah, absolutely, it probably is. So maybe he should play this. Anyway, but yeah, so yes, it does go into a bit more big. Basically, you can like hone into an individual and then find out what they're feeling by looking at other objects and kind of live through that what they're feeling, and then you can understand it, and then you can kind of talk them around or do different things. It's weird. It's like it just makes you feel like this person's got very high emotional intelligence and they're passing this off as a fucking superpower. And at one point you actually at one point really early on you get the option, you tell, it's a spoiler, who cares, you can tell your brother that's your this is my like power, I'm going to tell him about my power. And he's like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, that is weird. No, it's not. What are you talking about? That this is, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, just calm yourself down, just cool your jets, like, all right, you feel very empathetic. That's pretty much it. And for that reason, like, you're already thinking, oh, okay, right, this isn't setting up for a great Life is Strange. But it starts off really slowly. The dialogue is annoying at times, and it's got it's nice scenery and nice, but it's just a bit when you're walking around and looking at items and stuff, it's just a bit like, oh, okay, this is the lame part of Life is Strange that I don't like. But there are mini games and stuff like that. You can play foosball, Eddie. Yeah, exactly. I know that would. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, we love a bit of foosball, so you can do a bit of that. It's great. But I was getting quite like turned off the game to start with. But then I powered through to like the end of the first chapter.
Super powered through.
And super powered. I emotionally powered through. And it does give you that Life is Strange up and down big narrative stuff that you're accustomed to with the Life is Strange games. And it does give you that towards the end of chapter 1. And you go, okay, this is why I'm playing the game. So at the start, so my impression of the game was, when I picked it up, I really like Life is Strange. This is going to be good. Okay, this could be good. Lame. Okay, it's picking up. So my point on this is, and then you progress, and it does actually get more interesting. It feels more Life is Strange like. So I think if you're interested in Life is Strange, or you have previously been interested in Life is Strange, or walking sim type games where you can influence the story with your decisions. You get to see what other people have picked percentage-wise on what they've done previously. Even games like Detroit and stuff like that, if you'd like that, then I'd say give this a try, but power through, and you might enjoy it from the outset. But I've been seeing people on Twitter being like, "Oh, I love this game. I'm so in love with this game." Blah blah blah. I thought it was really lame. Lame. I'm saying lame a lot, but that's the only way I could that I could kind of communicate how I felt about this game to start with. But it does actually get better, and I have enjoyed playing it handheld on the One X player. So Switch version might be a good way to play it, but this is on Game Pass, so if you fancy giving it a try, it's there. If you like,
I've got to admit, man, I think it looks stunning.
It's a really good looking game.
Yeah,
it's a really good looking game. It's not. Yeah, the brilliant thing about the style is that they're not trying to go for ultra realism. So they can get away with some of the textures not quite being there and stuff. So it is a really nice looking game. And so a lot of the dialogue choices are very good as well. Sometimes it's a little bit of jank when you pick, and it doesn't. Yeah. Why are people waiting so long between speaking? Is that like? But what is impressive is that when you pick a dialogue option, it is kind of. It does flow quite nicely, and it is like, that is a nice kind of couple of sentences to say that summarises my little 2 words that I've picked or whatever. So, yeah, Life is Strange, True Colours on Xbox Game Pass right now. That's a pretty big coup, and it was the big kind of release on there last week. So check it out if you're interested.
Do you have to have played the first one to play this one?
No, absolutely.
Do you think that I would like it?
Ooh, not
I think you might like it. I really do. I think you might like it. As I said, it depends whether you can handle it being slow. I know you like your action games and stuff like that. This is very slow. It's almost like you're kind of walking through a movie, not watching a movie. You're walking through at a slower pace than a movie.
Right.
And you have to get kind of emotionally involved. When I played my first session of it on the Xbox, and then I quickly moved it to handheld because I wanted something else going on at the same time. Yeah. I wanted like a TV show on at the same time or something. Yeah. And I play it with headphones, just one headphone in, just so I'm listening to it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it would be like if I just dedicated my whole kind of thing on that one game. I'd probably be like, I'm a bit bored now. Yeah. But as I said, power through to the end of the first chapter and see what you think. If that end of the first chapter makes you go, oh, right, I need to play more, it's got you. But otherwise...
Okay, so quick question. Yeah. How long to do the first chapter?
First chapter, an hour to an hour and a half.
I mean, I couldn't give Lost in Random more than 30 minutes, but maybe I could
now that you know... Yeah, now you know the first chapter... then I'd recommend it, because I'd recommend just getting to that point, because then you kind of you know Life is Strange games do give you that emotional up and down, so you then realise what a Life is Strange game can do if you
I'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
You'll give it half a go.
I'll give it till the end of the first chapter.
Then you'll raid it on Twitter, just like.
Well, no, because if you really like this, there are other games, and the first Life is Strange I really liked that. That's really, and then there's Before the Storm and stuff. Like, it's some really good fucking games. They're really good fucking games.
I'll do it now, mate. It's fine.
All right, lovely. Okay, well, that's what we've been playing then.
Yeah. Also, just a little side note, as I've just realised, as I've opened up my Game Pass app to go and download it right now, so I don't forget to do it. You can also preload Trek to Yomi.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, comes out on the 5th.
When's that? Comes out on the 5th.
5th of May.
Lovely. It's Devolver. Lovely.
There you go.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you can. That's gonna. I don't know if previews for that have been.
I don't think they. No, but
no. Anyway, moving.
Could be.
Move on.
We could talk about that when it comes out.
Yeah. Save that stuff. Right, our feature this week is discussing what we think gaming will be like in 10 years' time. That's 2032, not 2023. So. I've got some quick kind of questions to fire around because I thought this could be just interesting to get our take. How common do we think streaming will become in the next 10 games? 10 games?
10 games time. Yeah.
10 games.
10 years. I mean, I've just talked about streaming Life is Strange.
You have?
When you go onto the Xbox app now on your PC or on like some other device, they now have cloud gaming like as one of the options on the left, and it's all very seamless because before I had to go through my browser, whereas now through the app it works really well. And there's so many devices you can play this on now, and they're setting the pace. So how do we think streaming is going to be massive in 10 years' time?
Eddie, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I do. I think it's going to be massive. I think not only with the accessibility of it getting larger and larger. I mean, I said, I think 6 months ago when I got that new TV, and it's the third thing that's that you can click on. And the same with the actual streamers themselves, or how it's getting easier and easier. I think the accessibility of it all is getting better, but I just think it's going to get bigger over time. I think, as we all know, like the new generations coming through, and welcome to gaming. I mean, I would like to see the average age of someone who views over 12 streams a week, because I reckon it would be quite young. So I reckon over time, in 10 years' time, this could be an industry that's pretty massive, especially if it gets into your competitive things. If that becomes more mainstream, then this could be great fun. I mean, it could be, your sports, taking over sports sort of thing. I think it's going to be massive, personally. But, yeah, what do you think, guys?
So, for me, I do agree it's going to be commonplace in 10 years. And I know that there is a lot of headway being made right now. But the infrastructure, at least here in the UK and a lot of places in the States and whatnot, which are some of the bigger markets, just isn't there. And what I mean by that is a game like Life is Strange, as you said, Ben, perfect to play when you're streaming, because it doesn't matter about low latency and stuff like that until that infrastructure catches up. So whether that's 5G or 6G, that it allows us to stream like at really fast speeds, etc., and can take that latency right down to like it would be if we're playing on a home console. I think when we've got the competitive games that you can just put it on your phone and what you do is immediately reacting like on screen, that's when it will really be, home, if that makes sense. That's my
Yeah, I think you make a really good point about infrastructure, because so in this country, I know in America they get higher speed internets. You can get higher speed internets than we can generally in this country. I think that's probably fair to say on average.
Yeah.
But you really do need they say like to run Stadia or something, you needed like 20 meg, something like that, or maybe even as little as 15. But it wouldn't, like, even on xCloud or whatever it's called, Xbox Cloud Gaming, is that what they call it? I can't play certain games, and I have very good internet even across the Wi-Fi. Like, I have good internet across the whole house, and it's so even in its worst parts, it's still like 100 meg. But I wouldn't want to play some of these games streaming on that kind of connection.
I tried playing Rocket League on it once, like streaming it, thinking whilst my girlfriend was watching TV, I thought, I'll play Rocket League on the iPad or something. No, fucking forget it. Absolutely not. And I got a 40 meg download, and
I will say this: 10 years ago, I was trying to play games, and if even when I was connected, wired up, I would get kicked off just for no reason, and it would be over. Now, literally 2 days ago, I got my phone out, I hotspotted to my laptop, and I loaded up Escape from Tarkov, and I did my management of my insurance system.
Yeah.
What do you think? If that's how far we've come, and my God, if we went 10 years before last 10 years, if we went 20 years back, my God, you could look at the advancements in technology that we've had, especially with the internet. What do you think it's going to be? Do you not think it's going to be bloody easy in 10 years' time?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. You are damn right to get that connection and all of that. But that's kind of playing multiplayer I think streaming games requires even more information transfer.
Yeah.
And I think even in 10 years' time, you'll be limiting parts of the world. If streaming is the predominant way of gaming, I think you'll be limiting certain areas of the world that won't have the highest speed internet. However, streaming, I mean, just as you said, Eddie, like using your mobile, you're using different devices in different ways to load up your game and stuff like that. Gamers want to do that, and it now is the fact that I want to use this device over here to play my game or something, and now there are becoming mechanisms to do that. Game how you want to. I prefer handheld gaming. This is why the Steam Deck interests me. The One X player I got, love the Switch. Handheld gaming is where I do everything, if I could, and mechanisms to do that. Just that's what excites me. And streaming of games, I think, will be important. But I think your point, Kirk, was the biggest point about infrastructure. Like, it's defined by the internet.
Exactly. And it's like, and I don't know if you guys know this, but they're still, in the UK at least, they're still like, although it's not large, it is large in retrospect, there are huge parts of the country that still can't get 4G. So if you've got large parts of the country that can't even get 4G, I mean, even now, I'm in Southampton, and there are times that my 4G is just completely dog shit. So if 4G is not working properly, and that isn't good enough to stream proper games like in full, how that like you said, that infrastructure is not there yet. In 10 years though, definitely, but that's 10 years
right
time.
Well, that's the bloody question. I'm so lost here.
That is the question.
That's the question.
Yeah. So
you're saying streaming will be big in 10 years time?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, good. That's good that we got there. Right, the next thing. Let's talk about physical stuff. So first you've got physical games, then we've got physical consoles. Okay, so physical games, we know that they're declining in sales and people are going more towards that digital market. Do we think there's going to be a digital resale market? Because that's the biggest thing that turns me off buying a digital game, because I can't sell it. I can't trade it. Kirk, you love to trade a game, don't you?
Yes, I do. And that's why I'm trying to play Crash now and get it done so that I can go and take it in and use and get as much money back as possible to put towards something else, because it's obviously going to lose value over time. I don't want it just sitting there. But then you do have a lot of people that just love collecting physical games, like the amount of people that will collect every single game available for as many consoles as possible or whatever.
Yeah, Ben likes a physical copy.
I do choose a physical copy over a digital one. There's also, I mean, we've talked about in recent weeks about what do you actually own with a digital copy, and we've seen the stuff that with the old PS Vita games just not working now, and it's like things can be turned off, and that's what you want to protect yourself against. But PC gamers will just go, look, we've had this for years and we've got no problem with it.
It depends on how the companies preserve these games digitally, though. If they put, again, it goes back to infrastructure. If they put it in place to the point where if you buy a digital copy, it would act the same way as a physical copy, and it will be stored, because obviously the way that things are moving forward, they have these big databases and servers and all that kind of shit that keep all this information in one place. If that's the case, brilliant. If not, then there will still be a market there. But I think you're right in respect to the resale of digital, unless that actually comes to fruition, it's not gonna overtake. Well, there'll be a shift, and it will be more 60-40 in favour of digital, I would say, something like that. But I don't think it's going away, not in 10 years.
Well, I always come back to in my mind when we think about like the turning off of games and how things are stored, and you just mentioned that, and like the ownership piece. Now look at companies like Sega, who stepped out of the kind of console market, and there are other big kind of players that just disappear. Now in 20 years time, Microsoft could just step out of the console market, or PlayStation could, or Nintendo could, and I know they've been going for years, everyone's been going for years, but they can legitimately just step away, and then what happened? Like we talk about servers and people storing data and all that. Well, once you shut it down, it's done.
It's true.
So I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, and probably something would happen to prevent whatever. But it becomes then such a large kind of institution where people have investments of such vast like quantities that it's on a knife edge of where something could go with this stuff. Like all digital just seems like such a
20 years
such a minefield for legality, for legal issues and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that's where we're headed. I think this generation of consoles could be the last one with a disc drive at least.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that.
What? Do you not?
I don't. No, I think I don't see it. This one will be a slow transition. And if we were asking if it was going to, what's game going to be like in 10, or would you put this in 10 or 20 years?
My console already doesn't have a disc drive.
No, I know, but mine does.
Exactly. We've already got that halfway house. Like I'm happy with a digital Series X, especially with subscription services. Don't forget, like a lot of people just use Xbox Game Pass.
Okay, all PCs now don't have disc drives. You have to buy one.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. But I don't think you're going to upset so many people. Shut up.
Yeah, I also think that like if that's the case and you don't have a disc drive, let's just say that is the case, Gert, that you don't have a disc drive. Do you even need a console in 10 years' time? Because we're going to have supposedly an Xbox streaming device. If streaming is huge in 10 years, the majority of physical natively delivered content through your console, is that still going to be a thing? Like, or are you just going to have like a box that you just everyone streams from the same, all the different data centers and the servers and stuff? And so is that the way it's going?
This is an interesting one from me because, like, I've got the Series X, and the fact that it puts out 4K and can do up to 120 frames a second is one of the benefits for me that I've got. But the amount of data that would be required to send from an external source over the internet that could push all of that information plus the game plus anything else that needs to go with it to a little device that I've got for streaming just seems unfathomable. And then you've also got to remember, we're only at 4K at the moment. We're in 5-6 years' time, maybe even less, we're going to be on 8K by then. The amount of data that's going to be required for 8K.
Now that's a nice little point there, because
it's always the technology always will seem to be it's a tug and pull. It's always going to be all right. So we've got this now, but now that what we've created for what was before can no longer handle because of the next thing being bigger and better. You know?
Okay, so what we're saying is physical consoles are still going to be a thing.
I think so. Yeah,
but even with the technology going up, surely the cloud-based system would still work with new things, with bigger things. Do you know what I mean?
You'd hope so. You'd hope it would all develop in tandem, especially if streaming games is going to be big.
Yeah.
I suppose the question is probably, do we think a streaming data stick will grow above and beyond a physical console need?
I don't.
Physical consoles will probably still exist.
Not for me.
Okay.
Eddie, what do you think?
It's a difficult one. I mean, logically, surely yes, it should go that way. But people have had consoles for the beginning of gaming time, so it might be one of those things that just hangs on for reasons we can't really explain.
This is the thing. Like hardcore, well, like retro. No, I'll start again. Gamers like us, I'd say, would probably prefer more physical stuff. Like, I want a console. I've got so many consoles of yesteryear. I've got so many games of yesteryear, all that kind of stuff. But maybe the newer generation who are growing up on digital content they will be the driving force of why do you need something physical. Remember, the people that will be developing games in the next 10 years are people who are in school now and consuming media which is all digital, and so they're the only thing they know is digital, and so that then dictates the market going forwards. So I think that's one understanding that needs the understanding that needs to be catered into, like who's going to be making these decisions.
Ben, when I was going to my parents about that, because they always need help with PC stuff, and they were buying a new PC, and trying to get round their head of why they don't need a CD drive was painful. Honestly, it was fucking painful. And you know what? I know I'm going to have the same conversation with my kid when they're like, "Oh, you don't need a console." Yes, I do. I do need a console. Where would the tape decks go? You know.
Well, this is, the first laptop that I got without a CD drive, I was like, "Oh, you don't get a CD drive anymore."
Yeah,
and then I looked, but then I, honest to God, I looked in my laptop that had a CD drive. I clicked out the button, and there was, I think it was Football Manager 2012. I was like, all right.
I don't use it as often as I thought.
Kid hasn't used a CD drive in a while. Like it's just the changing of the times, isn't it? And how updates are delivered and everything. It will become commonplace. But I think one that we've talked about before is if we think 10 years is long grow for VR to be big. What do we reckon on VR's prominence? Do we think VR will grow in popularity, and it'll be like a 50-50, sometimes VR games, sometimes other? Is VR going to be the main or such a massive material way of consuming video games?
I'll go, because I think I've made my opinion pretty clear on past podcasts. I think if the technology is there, which in 10 years you could argue it bloody should be, then yes, I think it can be huge. Don't get me wrong, there will still be a huge market for all other types, because, for example, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I dip into first combat. Obviously, I'm playing Escape from Tarkov at the moment, first person, and if that was in VR, holy cow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah, but on the other hand, all my strategy games, my RimWorlds, even the Mount & Blade games, I would rather play that. I would not like the VR experience. I would like the casual, have my screen, and then maybe even football on in the background or something.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was thinking maybe you could be hovering over the situation like God, kind of doing it. But yeah, you're right. Some of us like to game while doing other things. That's why. Yeah. Well, that's why I like handheld gaming.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, for Eddie, to your point about you don't want to, you just want to have your screen so you can do something else. But the way I see this one with VR, I hope by 10 years' time it is a lot bigger than it is now. But obviously the clunky headsets and the use of other peripherals that we've got to use, etc., is just not ideal, but it's still in its infancy. Now, the way I imagine it, but this isn't going to be in 10 years, but is when it really becomes mainstream is when you've got the kind of thing that you see like in Black Mirror episodes, where it's just like this little thing that you put on the side of your head and then you take it into another place,
Absolutely.
And I don't know how the fuck that would
Full
work.
Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Ready Player One.
I mean, Ready Player One is probably like, I don't know if you're going to get a treadmill in your front room or something.
That's 50 years away, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with this, and as much as I hate them, Meta, fucking Facebook, they're going to help lead the charge on this, along with the PSVR 2. These kind of devices are going to help make it more mainstream for the mass market. And it's these kind of things that are going to, once people start realising the benefits of it in whatever capacity it ends up being. I mean, I've said before, I'd love to play a scary game in VR, like a really properly designed VR scary game, because I would just shit a brick. But it's that headset clunkiness. But with more people using it, it will make other companies put more time and money into making the whole thing better, which will then lead us to what we want,
Oh, I totally agree, and I actually think this isn't a year. I don't think this is a date variable. I think this is actually more content variable. I think that the difference between this being big in 10 years or 50 years' time is the content that's brought out. So the accessibility of it, the games that are brought with it. Because I generally think if in 5 years it's really easy to use, you literally just pop something on your head and your hands are recognised, for example, which I don't think is too unfeasible to think that in 5 years we had that. If they come up with literally that year 3 banging games to play with it, I think everyone could suddenly jump on board, and then everyone, all the developers and everything, look, holy shit, VR's a thing now. everyone chuck their finances into that. This could be massive in 8 years. However, it could be another thing, like all these VR systems we already have already, where a game will come out here and there, people will say it's good, but it won't be enough for people to buy it. So therefore, it's like it is now. It's trickling along. It's so
difficult. You're so right. Like, because it's content driven, but it's the chicken and egg situation, because you can't get good content unless people are buying it, because then you get investment to make the good games. It's like, for instance, Valve made Half-Life Alyx. To all intents and purposes, that was potential proper Game of the Year candidate.
Yeah,
that was proper. Like, I haven't played it. It's supposedly at the time, a year or two ago, whatever, proper Game of the Year candidate, but it's on a VR headset. It wasn't even on the PSVR. It was on the Oculus and the HTC Vive and stuff like that. But you couldn't. They need to universalize where the games are released on VR. They need to go. All VR games are on all VR headsets. Like, it's in the best interest of VR. Like, I don't understand why there are exclusive games on a different headset, because it's like they need to say to each other, this isn't helping anyone. Because I'm not buying a VR headset because I don't want to be limited on the games that I want. Fuck it, I just won't buy any of your fucking games.
You've got companies like Apple and Google that work together to drive the smartphone forward. So why can't
fucking Xbox and PlayStation work together?
Yeah, exactly.
Microsoft and PlayStation for server capacity and stuff. Like, aren't fucking PlayStation using Azure for different things? That's just how it works. Like, it really annoyed me when I was looking. I got a PSVR. It really annoyed me when I didn't really understand. Oh, right. So I can't get that game that's on fuck off then. Right, take your PSVR back, trade it in, see ya, not interested.
Oh wow.
Because you spend so much money on these things. Those fucking VR headsets cost a fortune.
Yeah.
They limit games. And then on a particular headset there's one fucking good game.
Yeah. Going to spend £400-500 on a headset just to play a £70 game once and then be done.
Yeah, didn't mean to get so into that one, but it annoyed me at the time, and it just does. Like, they need to bound together, because that's how VR gets the investment. If someone knows that they're going to get a good deal, they're going to put it on all the platforms. It's going to be. I think that's where they need to go. But yes, the companies need to probably recognise that. I believe anyway. This may not be reality, they'll know better than me, but I would have thought if they bound together they can build the industry, because it's great if you've got an 80% slice of the market, but if the market's fucking tiny, who gives a fuck?
What's the point?
If the market's massive, have a tiny slice. And
but it's the same with the publishers, Ben. If all the creators of all these VRs just said, right, let's make sure it's all games are accessible to all VR sets, and then also went to the publishers and went, we're going to release this bit of hardware in 2 years' time, do you reckon, basically chuck a game, and then if there are 20 games, 5 of them are going to be bangers, and everyone's going to then buy the hardware. It's almost like they should all have a fucking meeting and decide a date that this is now going to be huge.
Yes, I think there needs to be some bounding together on this, but I think the competition is possibly hurting VR, and I don't think 10 years is enough for VR.
No.
Well, that's my.
We'll be further along, but not where it should be or where it could be if they just work together.
It all depends on the content for me. Yeah, I mean, it could be big or more realistic later on.
Yeah, and a quick one as a Nintendo Switch fan, as a person who's getting a Steam Deck, I just want to know, in 10 years' time, do you think you two will own a handheld gaming system? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Even though I hate handheld gaming,
not unless I'm forced into it.
Forced into it.
Yeah. No. Like if I can't have a console connected to my TV or something, if I'm told no, you've got to have this because this is how it's going to be now, then I'll be like, oh, fucking all right then. But if not, then I won't bother. I like sitting there with a controller in front of the TV. That's what I like to do. You guys like to do something else in the background whilst you're playing something that's pretty casual. Like you especially, Ben. That's not for me. But I know that a lot of other people are like that. So
yeah,
you did ask me personally. Sorry. Go on.
I think I will own a. I think as time goes on, all the companies, like they always do, is accessibility. How many controllers can they get in people's hands? I think they'll come down in price, like the shittier versions, basically. I think that's the point where I'll just buy one, because there are so many times where the missus wants to fucking watch a movie, and I just bring my laptop in. And there are so many times where I'm like, if I had a handheld, like the golf game that I played,
PGA Tour.
That I still, there you go. 2K21.
21.
That I keep on jumping back onto. I would love to have that in a handheld and just play it along. So
I've got it in handheld, yeah.
Well, there you go. So absolutely. I think when it keeps on coming, they keep on bringing these out, they keep on getting lower in price, I will get it. For the AAAs and stuff, I still will never do that. I know in 10 years' time I will not be playing AAA games because I like the full immersion juice.
Yep, dripping in juice.
I love the fact we can end on immersion juice.
Sopping,
yeah.
Gushing.
Come on, Kirk, don't be
that was
crass.
Too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, socials. If you disagree with any of our 32, whatever, 10 years time.
Oh my God, man.
It's hard, actually. It's difficult to deal with those numbers. If you disagree with anything we've talked about, you can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us, and in Kirk in particular, at grumpygamerspod. You can go to our YouTube channel, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, where we post videos, and our podcast is also up there as well if you prefer to watch it on YouTube. In a few weeks' time, we're going to do a live podcast, aren't we?
We are.
Are we?
We're gonna have a video of the podcast.
Sorry,
whether it's live or not is another issue.
No, we're doing it live. I've put that
Okay.
on Twitter as well. We're doing it live.
Okay, well, Kurt's going to organise that. We'll have more info on that in the coming weeks, I suppose. But for today, that's GG.
It's GG.
GG.